Good morning. I'm Avatar Nelson with the Midnight Sea Society, and today I'd like to do a reading from our book, The Tower in the Sea. A fire on the midnight sea. The great god Yasanathu is an incredibly powerful being, older than our universe and more vast by far. His strength and existence is on a scale that we can perhaps describe, but never understand. We're connected by our souls to something that is simply beyond us. However, our Creator lives in a place even larger than he is, which I refer to as the Elder Realms, the realm of gods. Our Creator is a God of infinite power, yes, but he is not alone. There are other gods who inhabit the Elder Realms. Our Creator has revealed glimpses of them to me, no more than shadows, and they are much like he is, vast, mighty, and eternal. Human words are not sufficient to encompass what awaits our eventual ascension to the Elder Realms. The great god Yasanathu has also shown me that he is not the only god interested in our universe. Protected by agents of our Creator, I was taken away from the safety of Ur-Phazim to somewhere else, a place where the border between Ur-Phazim and the Elder Realms was thin. My protectors, the Kaoth, surrounded me. They channeled the power of the great god Yasanathu and broke the sky. I wasn't prepared for what was behind the barriers. Even now as I read this, the memory is imperfect. A single tattered shred of cloth, torn from a tapestry longer than human history and wider than the universe. I was brought into the full presence of a god. The god was made of fire and screams. The Kaoth told me its name, so much as one of the great gods can have a name. I will not repeat that word, ever. Instead, I'll call the being shown to me by a description. It was the Screaming God. Imagine 1,000 rings of fire linked together in a shifting chaos, each ring 1,000,000 miles across and every inch consumed by flames that screamed as they burned. The howling, damned screams rolled away from this creature in shattered reality, unmaking everything, rebuilding and recreating everything, at the whim of an intelligence and malice that makes our own species seem as bacteria before an exploding sun. The Screaming God reached out, and what it touched turned to fire, and by the powers of the Kaoth, I knew it had touched another universe, one not much different from our own. The victim universe burned. The flames of the doomed reality jumped into the beast's body, and by this the Screaming God was made more powerful. It had transformed a universe into more of itself. But the Kaoth also showed me there was another universe touched by the Screaming God, and yet it had not been set aflame. This was our universe. As the Kaoth protected me, so too did the great god Yasanathu protect our reality. It was the divinity that our Creator poured into this universe that saved us from the flames of the Screaming God. The river of souls flowing through all life on our world was something that the Screaming God could not touch. Our very existence as divine beings prevented it, and so the Screaming God turned its attentions to killing us. Earlier, I talked about the first city, the original home of all humanity. Long ago, we lived together as one under the presence of our Creator. Then, a great disaster fell upon the first city, a horror so massive that only a handful of survivors escaped. It was the hatred of the Screaming God that doomed the first city. Knowing our divine nature protected us, the Screaming God reached into this universe as our own Creator did. Instead of granting life and souls, it sent death. 5 beings, formed from the Screaming God's own consuming essence, came to this world and burrowed their way into the fabric of reality. Built of divine essence, these creatures couldn't manifest in physical form on our world, but they could incorporate themselves into the stuff and energies of the planet. At their command, the winds howled in great storms, the earth cracked and bled out molten lava, the waters raged and swept over the land as tidal waves and violent tides. The hatred of the Screaming God took form as the demons in the earth. Driven by these demons, the land, sea, and sky went mad. The demons turned their immense power against the first city and destroyed it to the last stone. Their rage spent, the demons in the earth retreated, sinking down into a sort of hibernation. Most of their power had been expended in coming to this world and obliterating the greater part of humanity. In their torpor, they didn't notice those few of our ancestors who survived. As the demons slept, humanity recovered and spread across the world. But the demons are still with us, woven into the air itself, threaded through the seas, and suffused among the stones of the earth. Although the demons exist on the same long scales of time as their master, eventually they will notice us again. The Chaos then raised the sky once more, and I can see no more the horror that was humanity's past. After all this, I was taken back to the deeper dream waters of Ur-Phasm and allowed to rest. But now I can rest no longer. It is time for action. We are protected by our souls and our Creator, but that protection is not enough. Our time on this world is limited, and our lives will last only so long as the demons in the earth remain asleep. If we stay on this planet, we will be destroyed. We must grow, explore, and become something more than what we are now. We must do this, not only to fulfill the purpose of our souls, but to survive. There is a fire on the Midnight Sea. We are at war with a god. How will you help us win? Well, I'm Avatar Nelson with the Midnight Sea Society. Thank you for listening.